Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a 9 of Cups. I feel like we've been getting the 9 of Cups a lot for you lately. I don't know if that's true, if I just feel that way. But I think this is going to be the happiest you've ever been, right? I think that you need to get ready for great things, because this is a life that is abundant on every plane. This is really we should just do a half an hour just with this card by itself. Okay? You're somebody, I think, who is really striving for true happiness, following your bliss. And there's an abundance that's coming on both the physical, financial plane, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, right? Every level of being, all three levels of this, right? And we know that the 3 of Cups is the card of abundance. Well, you've got 3 of those, so you've got 9, right? My math is correct. So this is wild. This is really, really good. This isn't just the feeling of being kind of satisfied and fulfilled and feeling like you have enough in just one area of your life. It's like, oh, things are really good over here, but kind of crappy over there. This is across the board wonderful, right? Beautiful energy. And I feel like you have, you've worked hard for this. I feel like you're also a very generous person. I feel like you want to share this with people. This is the dream that keeps on dreaming. This is the happiness that keeps on happening, right? So this isn't just an object that we're attaining. This isn't just a situation that is, kind of feels perfect in the moment. This is your continued effort, continued work and evolution. It's a process, right? This is us living that dream life, living that best life, which doesn't mean that there's never going to be problems, but it means that even with the problems, we're approaching it with this sense of a greater joy, really, but also this larger perspective that says, yeah, I may be experiencing setbacks and these problems that are happening, but overall, my life has been going steadily, forward, toward your ultimate goals, toward your I think there's a moving goalpost with the 9 of Cups, right? And maybe we'll look at some other cards and see if we get an example of that. But I feel like no matter what we do, we can always do better. We can always expand. We can always grow. There can always be more. As happy as I am now, well, there's room for more. I'm always hungry for the next adventure, right? What's the next card here? Oh, speaking of that, Wheel of Fortune. This is the field within which you're operating right now. And we're in this process of growth and expansion. I think that whatever you're doing in your life, you're trying to build it or grow it or expand it. It could be a business, could be family, could be relationships. It could be your own spiritual experience, right? This could be that we're really looking to broaden our horizons. We're looking to stack the bank account, all these things, right? We're looking to continue filling these cups on every level of our being. Not just one particular, you're not just focused on career, but everything else is kind of, you're focused on all of it. And we're trying to expand this circle evenly. We don't want it to be oblong, right? We don't want it to be elliptical. We don't want it to be egg-shaped or whatever. We want it to be as close to a perfect circle, shout out to Maynard, as much as we can, as perfect as possible. Okay? This is the card of divine timing. And I think that maybe there is a little bit of a conflict here, or a little bit of an urgency or a surprise or something like that. There's a reason why we're getting these cards today. And it could be that right now, the cosmic wristwatch, right, Spirit's timepiece, is telling you it's time to expand. It's time to take the next step and get larger in one or other area of your life. Okay? It really could be a call to action that says, this wheel is turning again, you better get on it because we're leveling up again. So maybe there's one particular area of your life right now, whether it's physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, that is requiring some additional focus to expand it a little bit more. Okay? Let's see what else we got. This is really nice. Ace of Cups underneath the surface. I feel like this is really the essence of your soul, you know. And this is, it's a hunger, it's a thirst for life, right? We are trying, and this really kind of gives me what I was hoping for as far as the moving goalpost that I mentioned, because we have that Nine of Cups, and in you is always this sense of this infinite kind of divine blessing, right? And so we add more to our cup. We add the 10th cup in here, and we get that absolute fulfillment and satisfaction. But this is an infinite cup. It's kind of, it's very Taoist in a way. The more we use it, the more we fill it up, the more room it has, right? And it's paradoxical. It's meant to be. The more we pursue our happiness, the more happiness we achieve. It's like the goalpost is moving just a little bit further out. I've got more room now to fill my cup up with more. So that kind of is the expansion that we're talking about too. That as happy as your life gets, as full as you feel you are in life, the Ace of Cups is here to say, and the Jupiter energy, the Wheel of Fortune, is here to say, we've got to make room for a little bit more. Because if we have our 10 cups, we have this perfect ideal, I got everything I want in life, and now I don't like it, you know? Now I'm bored. And now it's starting to really not do much for me, you know? So we have to have always a quest, you know, something to pursue. So we like the Nine of Cups because it's an ongoing process. The 10 of Cups would be like, okay, it's done, roll the credits. We're not ready for the credits to roll, right? So I think within you, deep in your soul, is this idea that you always want to be going and doing more. And what you're doing and where you're going, I think, is based on love. It's based on compassion and empathy and creativity and connection. So right away, I can see that you're a very loving person. I feel like you really do care about people. You're somebody that it feels like you just have an infinite amount of love to give, right? So part of what your happy life is, your fulfilled life, this Nine of Cups is for you. There's a generosity here. There's this idea of sharing. There's this idea of making connections, right? And really expanding the field of your experience, reaching more people, so to speak. Let's see what is... now we've got a Princess of Wands. What may have been holding you back, or is maybe currently holding you back, is this a little bit of this impulsiveness. Okay. The Princess of Wands is someone who doesn't really think things through all the time. This is, and maybe this is part of your past, or this is kind of some energy that's still bearing on your situation now. And it really could be that because we've had this energy in the past, that we've kind of now done the opposite, right? That there have been moments where we have acted without thinking or without feeling it through. It's very impulsive. We get the idea, we get the energy for it, we do it, okay? And so maybe now there's kind of a reversal of that. And maybe this was, in our younger days, or this was a way that we have been doing things. We're trying not to do this. This is kind of that inner child that just wants what it wants and wants it right now, and isn't going to take no for an answer, isn't going to ask permission, isn't going to think about consequences. It's just going to do it. Okay? So there's kind of a little bit of chaos in this card. There's a little bit of disorganization. And there's a little bit of this getting involved with a lot of things but none of them really are the one, you know. This is someone who maybe is trying a lot of different things in their life to try to find what they really love, to try to find what their true kind of happiness is. And in that process, they've started a lot of things and then maybe have very quickly ended them too. Okay, so it really could be a period of experimentation. It could be a period of just kind of like a lot of starts and stops, right? And so I feel like this is an energy now that we're trying not to really get back to. And it could be a very good thing. Let's do another card at the top here. Yeah, so there's that balance. There's that higher discernment. That's your superpower card. There's the Libra energy. Got to ring the bell for that. The Justice card, or Adjustment, as it's called in the Thoth Tarot, is this card of higher discernment, is the way I like to look at it. So it is you really, really judging things as they present in your life to see whether it really is part of your destiny and really is part of your happiness, and if it really is something that we need to pursue. We have the kind of infinite emotion down here, and we have that higher, rational energy almost. It's higher than the rational mind, but it's that spiritual discernment that can evaluate things, that can assign a relative value. Right? So the heart is feeling this overwhelming joy and wants to keep, adding to our life and expanding, right? And taking on more. And then your superpower, higher mind comes in and says, well, let's see, is that going to be a worthwhile addition to our life? Is it going to squeeze something else out that maybe I don't have time for, or I no longer have an interest in? Or is this something that maybe I need to pass on, right? And we're not judging something's intrinsic value, but its relative value, okay? And so with this card, I think you have a very strong sense of what is and is not for you. You're someone who can judge, yeah. You're someone that can, take any relationship or experience, any feeling, no matter how strong that feeling is, and you can now do the opposite of what the Princess of Wands does, right? Acting just completely spontaneously, completely impulsively, starting little fires everywhere, and then, maybe someone else goes and puts them out. Trying a lot of different things, but doesn't really like any of them. Now we're really doing the opposite of that. Now we are evaluating everything with this spiritual energy before we take action, before we expand, before we allow anything more to kind of fill up our life and come into play here. But the Jupiter energy, I feel like, is here to say there's some area of your life that we've got to expand, right? And I think there's the conflict now between that impulsive desire to do it, and then, of course, that higher discernment, that higher mind that is evaluating everything. So this has to be kind of the dominating factor, but we don't want to have too much of it. And I think I said this to you last time we got your power card, that too much of anything is really not a good thing, So I feel like there's really this balance between this really pure heart that you have and this really high intelligence, high spiritual discernment that you have. And this combination here is mitigating your kind of natural tendency to just be a little wild and to be a little bit impulsive, right? And so I feel like this is really the perfect blending of energies. We've got that fire energy that wants to do things and wants to take on more and just has this lust and desire and passion for life. And then you've got this spiritual discernment, and the Ace of Cups is really showing you it's a deeper awareness of what those things are in life for which you really have that passion and that lust and that desire for. So that we're choosing things that are in harmony with who we are and resonant with us. Let's see what the kind of outcome is. The depth of emotion of the Queen of Cups. Very nice. Again, we have this idea of the depth, right? The different levels. And on the Nine of Cups, of course, we have the physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative. And then in the Queen of Cups, we have this idea of the surface level, just the kind of way we reflect the environment, the way that we kind of blend in with our surroundings a little bit. There's also kind of the shallow end, which are talking about those immediate desires, whether they be creative, mental, emotional, or physical, financial, right? The kind of immediate satisfaction that we all want. If I'm hungry right now, I want to go eat right now. And then there's the depth. There's the long-term kind of desires, the more delayed gratification, right? And I feel like you want to have you want to have your cake and eat it too. We want to have this full experience of life, this depth of our the expression and the fulfillment of our desires. I think that the Queen of Cups here in this position is asking you what is a desire that you haven't really looked at yet, or what you haven't really recognized yet, because this is someone behind a veil, right? This is about the real emotional honesty, emotional transparency. This is perhaps also our ability to assess the needs of others, right? And this is us trying to maybe figure out, or to have the kind of emotional intelligence that can have an interaction with somebody else and empathize, understand what they need, understand their emotional perspective without it moving us, right? Without us having kind of a personal reaction to it, because then it kind of makes it about how I'm feeling. Somebody else is having some emotional issues, and now suddenly I make it about me, and I'm upset, right? So this is your ability to really understand people and to really listen, and to really pay attention and to feel what somebody else is feeling, to understand what it is that they need. And I think this applies to yourself too, understanding what you really need, being able to listen to yourself, because this Jupiter energy is saying that something is ready to grow, something is ready to expand right now. And I feel that this is us looking through the glass darkly to see what that might be. Where is it that maybe I feel a little bit of a need that I haven't recognized it. Maybe it wasn't there until recently, right? But I feel like since this is a future position card, you are really looking for this full range of emotional depth in your life, right? You're looking for really something that, you like the surface stuff too. I feel, Libra, that you're the kind of person that you like nice things in life. When you're hungry, you want to eat something delicious, right? You like to have nice things. You like to see nice things. You like to feel good, and you like other people to feel good. And you want to have that immediate kind of experience of life. But you're also looking for depth, right? You're also looking for depth. And I think that Libras have really tremendous ability to explore that entire depth. And I think sometimes Libras get this a bad rap or a stereotype of being superficial, too concerned with the appearances of things. And I think that's a real misnomer. I really do. I feel like just because you like nice things, the nice appearance of things, let's say, or you like the immediate gratification, it doesn't mean that's all there is, right? And maybe this card is talking about some element of your life that doesn't recognize that about you, all right? But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is the factor infinite and unknown. This card is kind of the guide, right? We're going to put Frankenduck right on top. I don't like the name Frankenduck. If you have a suggestion for the name, please help me. If you have a prediction for the mystery card or the guide card or the confirmation card, drop it in the comments, all right? And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything, and it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. All right, let's see general energy now. Path of the Serpent. We've got the Princess of Cups now. So we have Princess of Fire and the Princess of Water, right? And as much as this one is kind of reacting to their own kind of internal energy prompting, this is a person who's reacting to their own kind of internal fantasy or internal dream, or their emotional energy, right? It's still kind of impulsive, but this one is a little bit more driven by the feeling tone of things, right? Driven by that emotion. It's kind of like we're looking in this Queen of Cups, and we're finding that hidden stone, right? We're finding that desire that needs to be fulfilled. We're finding which area of our life we need to expand. I feel like we're also now kind of revealing the depth of our character, the depth of our soul to someone else in our life, okay? Because I feel like this is perhaps a situation for you where you really want to show somebody who you really are, and the depth of your soul and your character. And maybe the Princess of Cups is really beginning to do that. Maybe this is really about you finding that kind of long-lost dream, that long-lost fantasy, maybe a childhood wish, a childhood dream. And maybe Spirit, maybe that Jupiter energy is saying it's time to really expand that. Maybe to this idea of expansion, to broaden your horizons, to expand your awareness of what is possible for you. That maybe we've been very discerning and almost very rational, very logical, and you're attaining a really happy life. And maybe the Jupiter energy, the Wheel of Fortune, is saying, don't put a limit on it. You need to explore what's way outside of your normal like imagination, really get down to the depths of who you are and what you want in life. And this might be the moment where you really have this opportunity to really explore those depths and start manifesting something, start expanding something that maybe you've never imagined it before, right? Or it's that kind of childhood wish or childhood dream kind of thing. This is very good. I feel like if this is happiness, you're set up for this kind of super happiness. But there's the fire energy in the position of the environment. Sometimes this card is a little bit of how we experience the environment sometimes. Or even, it's even kind of a projection, and I wonder if it is associated with this Princess of Wands. Whatever this means for you, if this was a period of time where, I don't know, maybe you were a little bit more destructive than constructive, right? Because that could be a projection out into the world, the external world, okay? Or in the terms of your relationships. So to have this tower event in your environment or in your relationships or how you are experiencing the world, this might really be something that completely changes your perception. See, the tower events aren't always talking about disaster or something breaking down or some kind of tragic moment, or really even an abrupt change in the physical world. It could be that your acceptance of some of this watery energy, a lot of water here today, right? Your acceptance of some of this water energy is really going to bring you to a heightened state of awareness, to another level of your life. Again, the Jupiter energy is saying it's time to expand. There's something that really needs to grow. Maybe this is you breaking the mold or breaking the barriers that you thought were there. That we got to the edge of this life and you say, oh, there's the wall. Okay, cool. I got far. I got all the way to the wall. But the Wheel of Fortune is saying, you got to break down that wall, right? You're at the very limit of what you thought was possible for you. You got to break through that limit, right? You got to break your own records kind of thing. And so I find this to be a very good card. I find this to be maybe a challenging card, right? It may cause some kind of disruption in your life or in the way that you are experiencing the world around you. It may present as like the world is limiting you, or people around you are limiting you, or your relationships are limiting you. And so then it kind of does connect with the Princess of Wands, where we don't want to do something impulsive. We don't need to project this onto other people and kind of say that, oh, you're all holding me back. This job is holding me back. This world is holding me back. So we got to be careful with that, right? Because this kind of, really, this is like an enlightenment. This is like just a sudden kundalini kind of activation, right? A sudden spiritual awakening. Suddenly our eyes are open, and we've got to be careful now that that mouth is open, right? So our eyes are open, but we don't want to fall back to that Princess of Wands energy where we start kind of acting in that way, right? So we have to contain this. I'm very glad we have your superpower here. It's your ability to stay balanced during all of this. But this is tremendous energy. The obstacle here, yeah, of course, is the past, right? The Queen of Pentacles is looking back at the past situation and and maybe this was a period of time, maybe this was the last time that you kind of broke the mold, and maybe it kind of caused a lot of disruption in your life. Ultimately, it is for the very best, and things are on track, and things are just so beautiful and wonderful. But it wasn't always that way, and maybe this kind of spiritual awakening, if you want to call it that, does cause some trouble in your life that then has to be, we have to endure that. We have to go through that before really things start to get infinitely better, right? So it's kind of like, things have to be torn down before they can be built up again. And when they are rebuilt so much better than they were. Okay. And I think maybe that's our fear, worry, and concern. This is that card of kind of our anxieties, or what the obstacle really is. And I feel like it is, in some ways, it's kind of us feeling a little bit of that 10 of Cups, a little bit of that comfort. I'm okay with how I've kind of maxed out my life. Maybe I don't want to break down the wall and push the boundaries out. Right? Maybe I don't want the Jupiter energy, right, to prompt me or to lead me to expanding and exceeding the life that I've already built. Maybe I'm comfortable where I'm at, right? And so this could be somebody who's right at the edge of the universe, looking back in and thinking, I like it here, rather than looking to the future and thinking, I wonder what's beyond the wall, right? Because, of course, I think of Game of Thrones, what's beyond the wall? Well, that's the wild, that's the wild north, that's the wilderness, that's the scary place. White Walkers and stuff. So, that's kind of we're comfortable, and things are good. If it's not broken, why fix it? Why make it broken, right? Because the Tower kind of is saying that, we've got to break, again, we're breaking the wall. It's a breakage. It's kind of it's a disruptive force. But let's see, what is the outcome here? Higher perspective, we've got that Queen of Swords energy. It could be a Gemini person in your life somewhere. I'm wondering if that might be something that you're dealing with, or if a person close to you or something like that. I'm getting the Gemini energy with that. That is a Gemini power card. Gemini and Libra are not so different, really. I feel like in some ways the Libra energy is kind of the higher form of and I don't want to. I'm not going to disparage Gemini. I love Geminis. My daughter's a Gemini. But I feel like the Gemini energy is good at seeing the bigger picture and good at kind of seeing how all the pieces fit together. So these are very complementary, let's say. And there's not one that's better than the other. They're very complementary. So we're seeing how all the pieces fit together. And then, of course, the Libra energy is you doing the discernment, right? Weighing the options here and kind of judging the state of things. So in some ways, we have to kind of take that bird's eye view and look at the bigger picture, look at our life, and look at the pieces of the puzzle. Are they all there? Or if we take this high bird's eye view, maybe we'll see that, oh, there's a puzzle piece missing, right? And that's kind of something we're looking for down here. I feel like you're somebody that really observes the signs and the synchronicities around you. And I think that's going to be very important for you right now, is to go inward, go into your own kind of desire body, emotional energy, but be aware of what's going on around you and look for those synchronicities, okay? I think it's important that we get that higher perspective and take a look at our life, which is really what this Queen of Pentacles is doing, but the Queen of Pentacles is looking mostly at the past, in fact, exclusively at the past, from where I am right now in time and space, and everything that's behind me, both physically and in terms of, kind of linear time. Whereas the Gemini energy, the Queen of Swords, is rising above and, yes, seeing the past and seeing what's behind me in time and in space, but also is able to see what's kind of in front of me in time and space. So this is us getting a higher vantage point. We can see over the wall. We can see what is actually out there. And with that information, then I think we have a lot more that we can weigh in and we can kind of judge, right? In order to know kind of what the next step is, and to see if this is it's a choice for you, right? Nothing is just happening without your consent here. I want to look at the mystery card. It's ultimately your choice if you're going to listen to the Wheel of Fortune and find that area of your life that needs to level up, that needs to expand, that needs to exceed the boundaries that are there. Okay. So as far as the mystery card, though, I'm kind of feeling like a judgment card, which would be if this is the spiritual timepiece, the spiritual wristwatch, the judgment card would be the spiritual alarm clock. And that's kind of what I'm feeling, that we have a choice, but Spirit's kind of saying, wake up and look, wake up and rise to your new level, So that's kind of what I'm feeling. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Here we go. Oh, it's another Wheel of Fortune. Another wristwatch. It's kind of like you're checking the clock again, and you're like, it really is that time, huh? And that's kind of the Queen of Pentacles is saying, well, I really love it here. I've had a great time, right? This has been wonderful, but I've got to go on to bigger and better things now. And so it's bittersweet, right? But I feel like this is, maybe we've hit the snooze button, and this is kind of like we're looking at, you never do that when you're in the morning, you're waking up, your alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button, and then the whole time you're not really sleeping, you're just kind of looking back at the clock and thinking, oh man, my snooze is almost over, right? I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. But this is another reminder, again, that there is an area of your life that needs to expand a little bit more. Because maybe the wheel's getting a little lopsided, and maybe it's like we just got to kind of, we got to do some work over here to keep it expanding evenly and equally, right? I think this is very, very good energy for you. I think you're going to be tremendously happy. If you're happy now, just imagine the great things that are in the future for you. Yeah. This is good. We're going to do an extended reading too if you want to stick around. There should be a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Libra every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And especially if you're a new subscriber, or if this is your first time watching, leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.